Iron Will. Such a classic. I wonder what that kid, what other movies he did.
Which kid, Will?
Yeah. What's his name? Like Will Sterling? What is his name?
I was joking. Is it about a kid named Will?
Yeah, he's in like, not the Iditarod. What is that? What is like a dog race called? Is that an Iditarod?
That's a dog race thing. You have to eat those dogs sometimes.
They don't say his fucking name on here.
Because like the movie's called Iron Will, and it's about like a tale of perseverance and some other bullshit. It shouldn't literally be about a kid named Will. That's hilarious.
But it is.
So you love and know. It's Cannibal Video.
All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie The Garbage Pail Kids. 1987's The Garbage Pail Kids. Lee, had you seen it before?
Maybe. I think I have.
This
I'm
one
not
had
sure.
a big circulation on TV, like when we were like younger.
Maybe that explains it, yes.
I hadn't seen it in quite some time though, so like this was definitely like a blast from the past.
So I hadn't seen it, and I say this kind of stuff usually, I'm not sure if I should say this, but I watch YouTube a lot, and I've seen other people's videos of this over the years.
Oh, okay.
And I was still not prepared for what the movie actually is.
Oh no,
I cannot wait to get into spoilers to discuss some of the details, but I would say if you've heard about this, even if you've watched YouTube videos, even this YouTube video, you may still want to check it out if you are curious, because it is something.
This is a movie that's so ridiculous that it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, even if you had it spoiled for you, this
No,
is
you
one
have-
where
you
like
gotta
I need
study
to
it.
see these
Yeah.
things happen myself. The look is odd, unique,
like-
and grotesque.
How everything fits together, because they're going to get people's highlights of the parts they thought were the craziest. But the structure of the movie itself is like its own mystery.
Yeah, it is barely a movie with a
very
cohesive
strange.
plot, but it does
Yeah.
string together and do a thing.
It's
And
it
yes,
is a unique experience.
for
Let's put it that
sure.
way.
Yeah, so would you recommend?
Well, in that context, yeah. If this is the first time you're hearing of it, I think don't bother. But if you've been like, oh yeah, that garbage can, I was handed a cardboard thing at some point with a gross picture on it. I vaguely remember this. What is that? And you're like, yes, check it out.
A movie made from source material that is cards
Yes.
aping off of dolls. I think they did something incredible here.
They achieved something.
Oh yes.
Certainly.
All right, so if you've seen it or don't care, false over to spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of The Garbage Pail Kids. Lee, let me hear those spoiler-filled thoughts.
Spoiler and ironic term to use here for this movie.
This'll make him wake up.
I don't know where to start. Let's.
It would be difficult if you were like, hey, ruin that movie for me real quick. I'd be like, well, it's a very strange tale. Like the whole idea that these Garbage Pail Kids, these cards that are like, mocking Cabbage Patch Kids are somehow made into like elves that make clothing is such a strange, like, where did that come from? There's no canon that would lead you down that way. Someone had to like write that. It's very weird. It makes me think there was already a script like pre-existing about mischievous like something or others.
No, okay, perfect. I was gonna say it has to be a script that already existed for Smurfs or some other things that aren't obviously not the Smurfs. Something else that makes sense. Some creatures or whatever, right? And then someone else got involved who wanted to make it kind of a parody and self-aware, but they didn't have much say in what happened. And then someone else was like, oh, you know how in every movie, oh, even then, I don't know. Like, okay, the bullies.
Little baby gonna cry? Wally.
Let go! Ow!
Because that's where the movie starts, right?
Yes.
Technically, almost.
No,
right?
yeah.
I think first you see a spot of a garbage pail spaceship.
Yes, which is
Never comes into
it doesn't come back at
Never
all.
again.
You think that that's a lingering thing where like later when they're sad because they don't know where the rest of their garbage pail people are, that's where they are.
We beamed you up.
There's mixes of magic though, where I'm like, wait, what?
Okay.
I am the great Mancini.
There's a kid running away from several adults.
Yes.
And then they kick his ass and steal his money and throw him in
They steal like
in the
$3
mud from his pocket. Like, yoink?
Yeah, it was different in the 80s. It was hard.
Well, And I was like, okay, it's different in the 80s, right? You have Jack Black or whoever, right? You have bullies where you're like, that's an adult, what are you doing? It's crazy, or even if they're not an adult, they look like an adult, it's weird. And
Okay, creep, gimme.
I don't have any money. If he ain't got money, he ain't got nothing.
You're running out of time, creep.
bullying is always much more extreme, where it's like he's cutting off your fingers or something. It's this
Especially since this kid's
insane
like
thing.
12. Like,
So,
he's a
okay.
young kid.
The movie, though, also knows this. And I don't know if the dialogue gets added to like, paper over it or, like, to lampshade it or make it funny. But, like, they talk about his age and the age difference.
Baby, come on. He's just a kid. He's about 12 years old. I'm 14. I'm almost 15.
She says, he's just a kid. Don't kill him. Like,
Yeah.
all these things.
Well, and he's also
and
interested in this girl,
Yes.
Tangerine, who's, you know...
post-puberty,
In
and
her-
he's
in her
pre-puberty.
20s,
You can't
maybe.
go over the puberty boundary with dating.
No, it's weird, and it gets weird, and like you're like, what is
There's layers
supposed to
to
be
that,
happening
yes.
here? She looked so familiar, but nothing like that I
Agreed.
could picture that she's been in,
Yep.
at all. And like
the same experience.
They're both like working actors still, so like they're in things, and it's possible like, oh, I saw him in the background of that scene, or did this and whatever, or he was
Some
on
TV thing or
CSI or
whatever.
something like.
Yeah.
But nothing that I'm like, oh, the amount of familiarity I get from your face to where I could picture you from, like, no idea.
She went on to do telenovelas, though. Maybe you...
Oh, I'm big into telenovelas.
That's, you know...
She was in the background of the Bueller scene, I think, of Ferris Bueller.
Did it work? Anyone? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression.
I had the same experience. I think she just has one of those faces where, like...
I guess, yeah,
you
she must look like some
familiar,
other actress that I
which
also can't
must,
place.
yeah, which must, like, have helped her career. So you're supposed to look like that.
Sure.
But
and our boy
you're-
went on to be Iron Will.
Oh, you're hinting at the love affair, though, that's happening here, or we're introducing the love
The
affair.
want therein of-
she's just manipulating him.
Yeah.
And it's like just the...
Brutally.
Yeah, and she knows it, and we know it,
Mm-hmm.
and like, and like, they pay... I always struggle, because I'm like, they should have done this. And it's like, I guess they did do that, but like, not really.
They
Like,
manipulated
didn't really...
him against their own better interests. They're like, these things that are producing items that we sell for money that I take from my girlfriend here, because he's like the equivalent of a clothing pimp.
He's a pimp.
And
Exactly.
And they kidnap these like golden gooses.
What's going on?
Make this clothing that the teens go mad for, and they give them away to the ugly town.
Get in there.
Hey, quit pushing.
Get in there.
I want to go home. I'm hurrying.
Where they give them money for turning in ugly people.
Here's your bounty money, fella. You find any more little uglies, you know where to bring them.
And you're
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Well, now we're
They're like
introducing-
dog catchers of
Yes.
ugly people?
Now we're introducing another concept, which is the state home for the ugly.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious. And there's a few things. So, like, just to get this out of the way, we have the state home for the ugly, and that's the sign out front.
Yes.
All right. Then we also have a bar where there's a sign out front that says the toughest bar in the world.
Yes.
Ah, the toughest barn in the world. Well, I'll meet you inside.
All right.
Right. And there's one more that I forget when they steal the sewing machines from some little
Oh, that's
shop.
the best sign in the
yeah,
movie.
it says like non-union sweatshop. So like someone involved in in this movie was like smart. It's like Pee-wee's Great Adventure style. It's like
Yeah.
or like even weirder. It's like British almost, where it's like we're gonna make this joke, this like visual joke that like is funny for this reason and is like absurd and like we're not in the real world. Don't worry
No,
about
of course
that.
not.
This is some funny crazy thing. But then cut to like the kid with like raw sewage like flowing into his
dying.
face, drowning in raw sewage or whatever. Like it's such a the tone is so weird and
In
so
that same scene, you have the
fractured.
joke signs
Yeah.
on the pipes.
Why don't you just leave me alone?
Shut up. Get this.
It's like
Yes.
City Zoo, the restroom or something.
Yeah.
Like you're like,
Hot
what?
tub, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
they're like either this pipe goes to an individual item or it goes to like a whole facility.
Yeah.
It was a very and I do like the idea that like the hot tub gets full of animal shit or whatever the hell it is. I'm like that's kind of funny.
Groundwater.
The geyser a la
Yes.
Scary Movie, but this came first. Out of the toilet, it gets that one guy. That's well done.
Yeah, and like this is later when the Garbage Pail Kids are like helping the kid and they're just turning valves down there.
Yeah.
And it's causing things to happen elsewhere. Yes. There's a lot of hijinks like that.
Yeah.
The G-Pail kids get up to some
Yeah, they're
things.
like gremlins.
Yeah.
They have a look that I love.
Okay,
like,
true.
I there's not enough things like that because it's an unsettling look.
Let's go see a movie picture. We can't go out. We'll get captured. No, we won't.
Yes.
Of like uncanny valley puppet where it's like, yeah, there's like human skin texture there, but your head's far too big to be like anything that's there. Very odd.
And it's like a suit. It's like the body of a little person.
Yeah.
With like a head on, kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We have like a suit with a head, but like an animatronic head that is articulating and moving and stuff too, and combinations therein. And yes, the effect is like very disturbing.
Did you notice top billing on the movie in the ending credits?
Is like the dude with the knife, I think, right? Or no? What do you say?
Yes, that puppet. But the guy that plays him is the same guy from like Willow. He's like a famous little. He's in a lot of Full Moon movies.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, like I was like, oh, I'm like yes, to me that is the most famous guy in this movie.
And yet it is.
And I'm like, oh, and in their world too, he is the most famous guy in this movie. Very cool.
Yeah, this does not have a lot of quote unquote famous people in it, or people that that I know. I thought Manzini was somebody too, and I'm not sure if he is. I don't think so.
Son of a witch. I think I got it.
I don't. It didn't ring a bell with me, but maybe of the time he was somebody that was big.
I could have looked
I
deeper,
do love that there is like this. Because he's kind of like a wizard from like a King Arthur kind of movie, like that's just existed through time until now. Because it's very weird. And
he's constantly complaining that like, oh, today you can't get Eye of Newton anymore. The pet shop gets all weird about it.
And I don't understand how he can't. Like, because he wouldn't be squeamish about these things. He would just find a newt and pull the eye out. Like he's that old. He's cracking chicken necks and eating their bodies. Like that's for the vibe you get from this guy.
We can't get that stuff anymore.
That's 20th century progress for you. We can put a man on the moon, but we can't find a few simple ingredients to do a magic trick.
So to be clear, just so that the audience doesn't lose the thread here, the kid sweeps up or works at this.
He's like a shop boy.
Yeah, at this antique shop.
How long have you worked for me, boy?
A couple months.
Have I ever forbidden you to touch any of my treasures?
Which is run by this potentially ancient wizard.
Has to be.
Who like plays the piano and can do spells or something, but not really. This whole crazy thing.
It's très bizarre, as they say.
Très bizarro.
His shop is like one like less than a block from where the girl lives. She's like a stone's throw away.
Hey, Tangerine! Hey, Tangerine!
Which is presumably where he lives also, or he's just often fake walking into her house. I'm not sure exactly. He peeps into her windows constantly because she lives on the basement floor. You can just like see right down into it. I wonder a lot about her living situation and like how old she's supposed to be in this and what her thing is.
Well, they acknowledge that there's an age difference.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, like, is that her parents' place? Does she live there alone? Does she live with the Scuzzbucket guys? I don't know.
Yeah, so like the bullies are in a crew, and there's like a big snoo chick that I was into.
Yeah.
And like another sort of like
freakishly strong.
Yeah, cool. It was awesome. So I think like Tangerine and like the main bully.
Oh, come on, Juicy baby, no. Let's go play.
And then you have the snoo chick and like the other guy, and they kind of become an eye. And it's kind of like a two-couple situation by the end there.
The fight scenes are fantastic in this movie.
There's several actual fight scenes.
Oh yes. Like children's style, like I'm dribbling a ball. I gotcha. You've been duped. Flipped. Like type of weird shit.
God. Yeah, like going through the guy's legs. And yes, being flipped by one of the homunculi or whatever they are through the air like an acrobat to land on the bully to like Natasha his like head off
to
or
pummel
something.
the shit out of him. We were like, wait a minute, he's a small child. This is what?
Well, you see the magic or something.
Got it in him.
There's no explanation for why any of that happens.
He has an iron will.
But the fight scenes, as you've so accurately called them, right? They have that mixture of the hijinks and of the stupidity or whatever. But yes, also people are being like beat and horrible things are happening.
Dodger!
The beauty of the 80s.
The music choices are amazing. The set pieces are amazing. Everything's amazing. But they need to be seen to be believed.
it's just such a crazy, like, this is so much an 80s movie where it's like, oh no, and then this will happen, and this will happen, and this will happen for no reason. It's like, wait, what? Like, and I really do love that about these kind of movies, especially when the movie is called The Garbage Pail Kids. Like, what are you really expecting? But the idea that there's not, like, why do they need to be locked away? They don't even seem to be that bad. They're not doing things that are crazy. They very quickly become sympathetic characters that do things to help our protagonist. And like, they get slighted, honestly, very quickly.
But like, he says it's for your own protection, as if this posits a world where there is a state house for the ugly, and they do kill people, and
compact them in
the
like garbage.
They'll be gone soon.
On where?
And that the Garbage Pail Kids would have ended up there inevitably, right? And
with Santa and Abraham Lincoln and an old man and someone who was like pale.
Too pale, too hairy, too fat, too skinny. And like, that's social commentary about something, and also self-aware and hilarious. They're just in these dumb cages. It makes no sense.
When you see the exterior, you're like, wait, how does this work? Are they up against the windows? That's not enough to be a floor. And it's not a floor because they're just in cages like stacked on the wall.
It's a weird kennel. It's like,
I do like that.
Did you see any experiments?
Oh, yeah. Those doctors, they like to hurt people.
I would have liked there to have been a couple of freakish people, because the one time we see them catching someone out in the wild, they like accidentally grab a girl in a mask who has like a prosthetic-y kind of mask on, where you're like, oh yes, that's an ugly, whoa, what is that? In this world of what we already seen to be the Garbage Pail Kids.
Hey, let go of me! Get away from me!
Oops. Our mistake.
So you're expecting there to be a lot of freaks there, like something, like the movie Freaks inside the prison.
So they made the interesting choice not to have any real freaks there, anyone who actually has a deformity or a disability or something, and instead to just make it funny and crazy. And like the Garbage Pail Kids' cage says "too gross" or whatever, right next to it and stuff. So it has
too something for all their
has a nice funny bent to it, but they free them all. At the end.
They certainly do, and that's fun. The bikers chip in and help. Like they've bonded and made this great thing. The only person that was actually a problem for anyone else would have been the a gator or whatever, alligator. Yeah,
Alligator.
I always think back to the Bucky O'Hare Al and the Gator.
Oh my God.
He was an alligator assassin. But in this one, you have a guy who's like, he's physically eating like toes, fingers, and eyeballs that look real for a children's movie.
He threatens our protagonist that he will eat his toes if he doesn't make good on his end of the bargain.
Yep.
If you pink out on us, I wouldn't want to be your toes.
Right?
He bites a biker's toes.
Well, yes.
It's toe time. Get out of here.
He eats a person's toes. Having him eat the people's toes and having the chick be so manipulative and weird and the boyfriend to be abusive, all these things do not fit with the hijinks of the Garbage Pail Kids.
Not so much, but I think that's what makes it so amazing.
Yes, it is completely amazing that this combination has happened. I can't imagine this being made, or like who made this or whatever. Like there's a scene before the Garbage Pail Kids, there's like several kind of montagey things where they go on hijinks and stuff, and one of them is I guess to go steal junk food.
What's the matter? My tummy hurts. What did you eat? Everything. That'll do it, all right.
But there's like a little like preamble thing that I loved so much. We're like, we don't have any money, and then the like greaser one pulls a knife and says, we'll carve out an IOU, and I'm like, oh my God.
We don't have any money.
Oh.
Hey, no problem. We'll carve out an IOU.
Yeah.
They're just gonna go but again, like I don't know. This can't be for anyone. This couldn't have sold a single Garbage Pail Kid. Like, what's happening?
Well, if you were buying Garbage Pail Kids, I think you would have seen this anyway.
You already had a severe mental disability.
Most likely.
You're not.
Well, they're off-putting weird cards, but I had a bunch. It was something fun.
Well, I'm not sure that I could have made it through this movie because as like a kid, because what I appreciate now is this weird filmmaking, like discordance and stuff. That's so crazy. But then I would have been like, what is happening? This is boring.
I guess. I feel like as a kid...
They don't have real magic.
If you got caught on the right time of being a kid, I think the visual alone, you'd have been like, what am I... This is crazy. And like, a snotty-faced girl would have made you laugh.
Tessie! Hi.
Don't shake hands with messy Tessie.
The idea that we only got one vomit the whole movie, I was like, what the hell, lady?
Get out of here!
You're selling me a bill of goods.
They can only afford one vomit.
I guess.
Like the way the eyes move during the vomiting.
Yeah.
And like that vomit was the kind of chunky but like fine, like you could buy that in jars.
Yeah.
They just sold that as like a toy for kids. It's like this weird goop. And it was that sort of weird, chunky, frothy goop.
This was the time where you had a lot of action figures and stuff that like would ooze stuff out, like Ninja Turtles or Toxic, Crusaders. It would just do that thing. They would come with little canisters. Oh, you want to buy more? Oh, that one got dirty. You need more junk and ooze. And let me tell you this shit.
Sometimes things that shouldn't have oozed. They're like, we need like a special ooze version of this. Batman has to ooze something now. It was crazy. Yes.
It was that stuff's like horrible chemicals that I'm sure are drastically poisoned and irradiated, and we just gave them to everybody.
Kids just eating them. It's so good.
It looked like Jello.
It tastes delicious.
Of course it does. That's why I don't make it
anymore. They don't sell them anymore. I've saved a bunch just so I can get a hit whenever I need them.
Monster skin. Care for a tasty tarantula?
Packed house. It's a start.
Okay, how's the crowd? Full house. It's not bad for a start.
As all things from my childhood, I forgot the singing.
Oh yeah, we can work together, whatever they say. Same thing.
We can do anything by working with each other. Come on, kids, take a shot. Show them what we really got. We can do anything.
There was like a law, like you had to have one singing scene in everything that was remotely geared to children, I think.
Yeah.
Like that's how you got your rating. It was like, oh, they're singing. What do you mean? The violence? They're singing. What are
He's singing.
What, vomiting and grotesquely horrible children? Singing.
No adult would sit through that. This has to be for kids.
Yeah.
Kids. Gee.
Exactly.
Whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so speaking of which, we touched on it briefly, but just to not let this go by, there are more Garbage Pail Kids.
What about all the other children?
Yes. Remember the garbage truck? We were too late. Just go and check that everybody's out safely.
Like, canonically and in this movie, and we never see them. Mm-hmm. And someone just asks, what about our friends? And then he goes, did you see that garbage truck? We were too late. Like, they killed the other Garbage Pail Kids. Or they are
or
immortal
they were never
demons.
there.
I don't know.
Because, like, how would he even, like, it's not like the other ones got out of that trash can. So presumably they're somewhere else on Earth. Like, are we to believe the trash can in space is the one that's in his shop, or is that a different one? Like, I don't know. Are we setting up potential sequels with more things?
I thought that it was like Predator, where it just opens by saying, they came from another world, and then it cuts to, like, now, and that was before or something.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I open to
we don't know.
interpretations. Exactly.
We don't know.
I won't claim that.
Absolutely. But as far as the movie's concerned, as far as Manzini is concerned, your friends were in the house for of the ugly, and they're dead.
Yeah, but Manzini is like an unreliable, like pedophile-esque character that I can't trust.
It could beckon or rebuff.
Did you ever get beckoned?
Yes, I also got rebuffed.
Exactly.
The fact that he showers that boy, I'm like, wait a minute, why do you just have a tub in the middle of your office? Wait, he's naked?
Rinse off, rinse off.
Here, for you.
Thank you.
What the hell?
Oh, he's got cute legs.
Yeah.
Got an eye full of tiny child.
They're like, yay, this kid.
Yeah, very fucking good.
At first, I was picturing a shower, not a bathtub. So I was like, I didn't catch that part. He showers that boy.
No, like
I pictured him like
yeah.
rubbing him. Yeah. No, he has a place to shower there.
Yeah.
It's an antique tub.
Yes.
It fits into the thing. There's a part earlier though where he casts a spell just to start the washing machine.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And,
yes, you're like, there is true magic.
Witch's broth and vampire's brew make these clothes as good as new. What's
go and do some work.
Oh yes, and everything rhymes. He's like doing incantations, and he's working out on the piano for like it's like pitch-based melody magic or something, which is a thing. Look it up on TV Tropes.
I believe it.
Where like, because at the end he's like, oh, I have to play the song backwards to get you all back in the can.
Yeah,
and it doesn't work.
Well, that was a weird scene too, and maybe I'm wrong, but they just played that scene in reverse for part of it, right? Because at one part someone's talking, and it looks like they're talking backwards.
Close your eyes and concentrate.
Now's our chance, guys. Let's go.
Captain.
Well, because it has that very distinct narrative. It has that weird
but I think it was
backwards
him,
noises.
and like the young boy, Dodger, or I think is his name.
Dodger, yeah.
And he's just like, and then like it cuts to like the other frame when like they like realize, oh, we should not be doing that. And he's like, yes, that's right, Dodger. We have to blah blah. I was like, what?
No, like
a stroke.
The music seems to be going backwards, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And then part of that, because it has that weird backwards noise or something.
And that like fall he does and tumble. I'm like, yes, that was you. Like they just played that in reverse.
But so like Manzini gets sucked into the can.
Yep.
His magic has no more power. He's lost his like control over the Garbage Pail Kid demons and stuff. And they just laughingly sneak away.
Yes, I can feel it working.
Oh, it's pulling us in. Whoa, here we go.
Goodbye, children. Goodbye.
And then get on their ATVs, their four-wheelers, and leave.
Little quads.
They go
like children-style quads.
Somewhere. Yes, they're like, what were those used to be called? Big wheels something? What are they called? Like you have like the Barbie
Fisher Price,
one and the other one or whatever. And like
Jurassic Park Jeep.
And in the commercial they'd be like doing jumps and doing sick things.
Yeah, really, they go 1 mile an hour.
Yeah, and you would see one in real life and like slowly move.
Yeah, the little brother would be like pushing it faster than it could actually go.
They would go and like fuck up the motor or something.
Yeah, you know exactly.
Those were awesome.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, and like I never had one, but like someone did.
I never had one either.
And you were seeing them happening. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm glad I don't have one. It sucks.
I still want one.
I want one now.
Yeah.
The same size. Just put it with me. Oh.
I love when the flatulent one is fighting in the bar.
Watch out.
We have to show the scene where that same dude, Winston, like farts on the whole crowd. Something about that scene changed my life. That's amazing. So on one of their rampages, right? And this is when I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This is bad because it hadn't like come full circle like a few times yet. But they steal a truck.
Oh yes, product placement.
and someone loses the Pepsi truck.
Back with my truck.
All right.
Which will be important shortly. A guy loses his pants. It's very funny or whatever. They're like driving the truck, which they're not qualified to do.
They're too short.
You might be worried. You might be like, they shouldn't be driving, but I'm sure the movie has that handled. It doesn't. A dude pulls up to the intersection and they just barrel directly at him. He gets out of the car and and there's a car accident. They hit the car. Oh my God.
Cartoony.
You're gonna be like, oh, there's like broken things everywhere. No, they flattened the car.
Yo! I think we hit a bump.
Look what you done to my car. What are you, crazy?
They have the power to turn the truck they stole, the like terrestrial vehicle that they stole, into a cartoon car so that it can flatten there and like not visually, just up here. It just has to be a cartoon physics.
It does give me
vibes
vibes of like Killer Clowns at times.
Yes.
And like you can tell like it's that beautiful time period where things just look like awesome. And this is something that's, if we could get more things like this, like practical stuff, I would very much enjoy this. There's a great one that just came out called a PG Psycho Gorman, and it has a lot of similar things, like a Turbo Kid kind of aesthetic with these fun practical effects and stuff. And like this is why that shit's in my brain and I love it so much, is because as a young child it got beaten in there and I was like, oh yeah, that kind of stuff is the best. And then we went so long without like really getting that kind of shit where it's like we're not trying to be realistic, we're just trying to make something that's fucking cool. And I think that's what the Garbage Pail Kids are. They're just something that's fucking cool.
I think like this is very different, but like Masters of the Universe.
Yeah,
like
no, that's on the same page.
Well, but it's like more or better or something. I don't want to. It's not just. But like
it's wrapped on a concept that is also good. So like it is. Yes, it's evolved. It's leveled up.
But yeah, I want
Dolph
more.
Lundgren.
I want more weird stuff, like you're saying. And yeah, I feel like this is something. I think that it misses the opportunity. Like I like weird stuff where also something happens, not that makes sense, but that like matters or means something.
Oh yeah, if this had a plot at all, it would have been great. Like if this would have just been like the movie Ghoulies or something, but it's the Garbage Pail Kids.
Had this in it, yes.
Like, because it should have been a horror movie. I think that would have been great. And like, not that like they're mutilating people. Maybe Allie's doing a little something here and there, but like just them like doing things, fucking up someone's day, and then disappearing, and then coming back and like, oh, my vomit is everywhere. Oh, snot. Why? Oh God, what is that smell? We have to move.
So like they sidestepped a bunch of that, where it's like you should have a thing where like they're doing horrible stuff and like the kid's getting blamed.
Yeah.
Or like he was like
a drop dead Fred or something.
Or it should be, for some reason I have genies on the mind, but it should be like a weird thing where it's like, well, hey, you want us to help do this? I didn't want
rub the garbage can.
Yeah, no, but like they could be like, they could just keep helping and just keep helping. But then he's like, I didn't want you to like the bully's paralyzed now for life. I didn't want that, and just keeps getting like too much or whatever.
No, I think that would have been a better film.
Or they're like, time to pay the price, and he's like, what do you mean pay? And it's this weird.
We gave you clothes, give us your skin.
We need to give you something or whatever.
I need toes
or something horrible. Where it ends up, and certain lower budget or like weirder things have done that, where there's a weird like, wait, this is the one I signed up for. Oh my God, no.
Yeah, it's like Trolls, but with this like something.
And then he has to fight and goes back to Manzini and like apologizes and says, I'm sorry, I warned you about those Garbage Pail Kids, they're dangerous. And we have a whole thing.
And you could wrap it up nicely, where the whole time he's just trying not to tell our boy wizard here, and at the end you could just snap it away because the wizard has the power to fix it. But because the wizard didn't know what was happening, you were able to let it run wild. That's the movie. Come on.
Because he kept lying because he was hot for Tangerine.
Yes.
But then when he realizes that that's not real and she was just manipulating, you're not pretty to me anymore, kind of like breaks the spell that she had over him, and then he turns right around and has the Manzini break the spell of the...
There should have been a girl his age that he wasn't interested in, that he could have ended up with.
That he was overlooking to go for... Exactly.
Yeah, pass by his orange crush and move on to this one that is real.
The Fanta of the movie. Exactly.
Something
I love it.
Nice.
We fixed it.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinions you can really trust. Come and browse our